How much of a desperate move then is this for the US military in Afghanistan, or is it simply a well thought out, well calculated decision that could end up lessening these incidents of so-called green on blue attacks?
This incident has not been happening just from the local police. It has been happening from the army and also from the national police. But the local police, Ghida, I must tell you, is based on a concept of Pashtun way of raising army during the wars, the foreign wars, but without knowing any of the anthropology or sociology of how those Pashtun recruited their armies for the past thousands of years. They've taken this concept and now putting it into areas who have got no idea, and that's why they are getting results that they are surprised. If they don't understand the Arbakai system and how it operates within the tribal area, they will never get it right, and these things will continue to happen.
But is this simply a legacy of the recruitment of militias all these years ago? What might be the way out of this then for the US?
Oh, exactly, you put your finger on it. They have recruited the militias of the warlords who've been who served their own warlords. Now, when the Karzai government came, those warlords became ministers, they became ambassadors, they are still governors and most other important. So they shoved all those people, that militias, into the army. And most part of the country, when you go today, during the month, you don't see any police or any army. At the end of the month, they just appear from nowhere to collect their checks, and then they disappear again. So, I mean, you know, this is the kind of recruitment that has been training that has been going on, and it's really surprising. Anybody who doesn't understand this, they should go to Kunduz and see, you know, how these soldiers, where these soldiers and the police are that they are paying.
But is it a fact of life in Afghanistan today that as long as there is this foreign military presence in the country, there will always be Afghans who consider themselves patriotic, who are willing to take on US and NATO troops?
Exactly, because a lot of these people who are now in the so-called local police, or they are in the national army or the police, they know that the NATO and American forces will not be there forever. So they have got to make arrangement with the opposition, with the armed opposition, that the opposition is going to be there. They have to face them one day. So that's why it's not impossible for the opposition to enter these groups and recruit some of the people to carry up the attacks that they've been carrying, especially in the last 2 years.
And just looking at this relationship, this crucial relationship between the US military in Afghanistan and the Afghan military, where does this move to suspend training for the local Afghan police recruits, where does it leave this shaky relationship, this gap, this mistrust that has really built up? Because the spokesman for US forces says that the US has full trust and confidence in its Afghan partners. Is this really the case?
I think I'm afraid to say that that's misplaced. I don't think the recruitment was done on the right footing. The best thing for them to do now is, they made a great deal of mistakes in the past 10 years. The best thing to do now is to trim this force of 350,000 to around 100,000. Get from those 100,000 must be the one who are patriotics, who really wants to serve in the army and the police. And Afghanistan always had around about that kind of figure to protect itself. But at the moment, there are lots of undesirable elements within the army and the police, and they are not really interested. The only interest is there to collect the check at the end of the month.